Hi, and welcome to Geno's NFL Week 10 preview. Yeah, it used to be called the Week 9 wrap-up and the Tuesday morning review, but I'm not getting enough of you to pay attention to this very valuable information, so let's get right to it. Every Sunday as gamblers, we like to look at the bottom line and see where a team is going and how they can make us money, but some teams just never will. Case in point, the Detroit Lions, who have fired everyone except Jim Caldwell. Do you know why? Because holding on to Jim Caldwell tells you two people are about to go. Jim Caldwell, after the season's over, and Matthew Stafford, because Jim Caldwell is there because they want to keep losing games. And what better way to do it than with the worst coach the NFL has ever seen? And he has not developed Matthew Stafford at all. Look, Matthew Stafford and Philip Rivers are the same quarterback, but Rivers has always had great offensive minds around him, while Stafford has had Nimrods around him from Schwartz to Caldwell. And if you think Matt Stafford can rally around and dig deep and win himself, a starting job somewhere else, that's fine. You can waste your money on the Lions. But some teams just are going to be starting quarterbacks that will be trying and losing repeatedly. Let me tell you three teams to stay away from during the second half of the season. These Lions, the Browns, who we already won money on Thursday night with Johnny Manziel, because he's just not good. And what's worse is he thinks he is. And I'm telling you, the Texans, because Brian Hoyer is not the answer. And I promise you, TJ Yates will be playing sooner rather than later. Now, let me tell you about a couple teams that I think are good value picks. Okay, you've got Blaine Gabbert, who is starting again for the Niners. You know why? Because after this bye week, they will be facing the Seahawks. And Colin Kaepernick cannot beat Russell Wilson because he's a meathead. Blaine Gabbert, meanwhile, will continually try to impress you and convince you he's a good quarterback, which means a lot of backdoor comebacks. But I'm telling you who you will not see in the starting lineup: Colin Kaepernick. Because as bad as Blaine Gabbert is, a total washout, they finally said what Colin Kaepernick has often been saying, that absolutely nobody is better than Colin Kaepernick. Let me tell you another team. The Chargers are going to keep covering games. Gene, they didn't cover last night. I know. But Philip Rivers is a great quarterback surrounded by a terrible team that can't stay healthy. If ever a team needed to fire one position, do you see how Miami kind of turned it around? Just firing their head coach and bringing in Dan Campbell? That's what the Chargers need to do with the strength and conditioning coach. Because I don't know if he's teaching these guys how to surf, but I've never seen so many guys go down so often, with the exception of Philip Rivers, who, let's face it, is just too stupid to get hurt. And one more thing, if you're watching this Thursday night game, and trust me, Daddy will have his 2-minute drill up to early Thursday morning when I leave the studio, you're going to see a splash of color because Nike has them wearing color rush uniforms. So the Bills will be in obnoxious all red and the Browns will be in all green. The Jets will be in all green. Why aren't they playing this game on Christmas Eve? But get this, it's just another way to make more money for Nike. But they say we're trying to create a bold new look for these two teams. You know what these two teams need a bold new look at? Not the uniforms on their body, but the players under center, because neither of them will ever win a big game with these quarterbacks. And watch how the Jets and Bills both beat each other up throughout the rest of the year, finish with 8 or 9 wins and get another crappy draft pick and continue to struggle. Trust me, Lion fans, you're going to do well. But don't pull that stupid Missouri shit and decide to go on a hunger strike until they fire Caldwell. Because believe me, you're better off moving to Ethiopia. That's Geno's Week 10 preview. Take this advice, because Daddy knows.